Hi, welcome to the podcast Beyond the Ballot, a Lone Wolf production. This is where we showcase local politics and hot community issues. Today's guest is Michael Bartolotti, Putnam County Clerk. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So as mentioned, you're the Putnam County Clerk.
Correct.
And in short, the county register and clerk for the Supreme and County Courts, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you do have a lot more responsibilities.
We do. So county clerk is probably one of the oldest elected positions in New York State. So over the years, we've always become kind of like the catch-all for everything. So not only are we the recorder of all the land records in Putnam County, we're also the clerk of the Supreme and County Court for Putnam County. So all the court records wind up being filed in our office. We also handle pistol permits, passports, business certificates, notary public filings, notary public. We actually have notary publics in the office. We also handle DMV. We also handle records management. We are also the FOIL officer for Putnam County. So we wear many hats.
So, and you're also seeking re-election.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I am.
And before we get into it, I want the listeners to hear a little bit about your personal background.
About my person. Okay.
Right.
So
how long have you lived in Putnam County, specifically Brewster?
So I moved to Brewster about 20 years ago with my, she was my fiance, but now currently my wife. And this November will be 20 years. We love Southeast. We love living in Brewster. But I actually grew up in Lake Carmel. I'm a lifelong Putnam County resident. And I started out there from the first 30 years of my life, and I'm going to be getting old. I'm going to be turning 50 this year, wow. So I've been here my entire life.
Wow! And what do you think makes this area so special?
Putnam is it's a fantastic place. It's close enough to the city. It's close enough to so many urban areas. Yet it's very comfortable. It's very quaint. Great people that live here. Our government is just so fantastic, really cares about their people. It's just really a beautiful place to live. The schools are great, and I wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
And so who were your mentors or role models in your life that made a difference?
Sure. So I would have to start with my parents, of course. They instilled so much into me over the years, and both my parents have passed. My dad passed a few months ago, so
sorry to hear that.
Thank you. But they've been just a great influence upon my life. I actually, Judge Sweeney, who again unfortunately passed recently, was a mentor of mine. I interned with him when I was finished up my first year of law school, and he was just had a great impact upon me. My boss, my predecessor, Dennis Sant, was a huge influence on how to serve the public. And in my day-to-day business life, Dennis is probably one of my biggest influences.
And lastly, what is something people might not know about you and find interesting?
Jeez, I don't know. I'm not that interesting. But,
everyone tends to say that when I ask that question.
I'll tell you, probably something that if you look at my physique, you might be able to figure it out. But I like to cook. My wife and I cook a lot, and I like to cook, and I'm pretty decent at it. So.
Okay. What's your favorite dish to cook?
My favorite dish.
See, I'm putting you on the spot.
I cook Italian. My mom taught me how to cook Italian food. So I'll say I like making a nice, Sunday gravy with some bread and meatballs.
Oh, you said gravy.
Yeah.
Not sauce. That's another debate.
It's gravy for me. I don't judge one way or the other, but it's gravy for me.
Okay. So let's get into it now.
Okay.
All right. So can you tell us about your professional experience and what has prepared you for the role of county clerk?
Sure. So, believe it or not, I've worked in the county clerk's office for 30 years.
So since you're almost 20.
I started out there when I was 19, going on 20 as a part-time student worker. So I literally started from the bottom and got myself up to the top.
What attracted you to work in the clerk's office?
I was in college. I was going to WestCon in Danbury, and I was working on my bachelor's degree. And somebody had told me that the clerk's office was looking for some part-time help. So I said, I always wanted to be an attorney. That was always my career path or my professional path. So I said, well, that's pretty close. I mean, they work with the courts. The land records are there. The court records are there. Let me give it a shot. At least I could get a little inside information. So that's where I started. I started out filing correspondence and moving files from one drawer to the other and all that good stuff.
So you've been all the way down at the lower
Correct.
end of the totem pole.
Correct.
And worked your way up.
Yes.
So you're a lawyer.
I am.
So what is your concentration as a lawyer? What's your specialty?
It's funny. I did a little bit of everything in my practice, mostly real estate, but I didn't practice full time very long because I was there. I was practicing for about 6 months, and then Dennis Sant was acting county clerk back in 2002, and he had asked me if I would come on as his first deputy. So I agreed, and I served as his first deputy for 13 years. I will say though, having the legal background is very handy. Dealing with the clerk's office because we deal with statute and black letter law and procedures all day long. So it's nice just having a handle on it.
So since serving as Putnam County Clerk, you and along with your team have had many accomplishments.
Yes.
The first accomplishment I would like to discuss is the return of the naturalization ceremonies to Putnam County. I had read that there had been a 20-year hiatus in 2015.
Correct.
Could you tell us more about this and your role in administering the oath of allegiance?
Sure. So it was always something that I always thought about while I served as deputy as to why we don't have naturalization ceremonies here. And it was always just one of those things, oh, well, the federal government took it away from us years ago. So it's not really a big deal. And to me, it always was a big deal because especially as time had marched on, I believe that our county had gotten more diverse. And I said, wouldn't it be nice to have these folks, when they get to the end of their journey, be able to stay in their hometown in the historic courthouse and get sworn in as citizens? So it was really my top priority as soon as I took office as county clerk. I made some inquiries. I talked to our Congress member at the time, and I was fortunate enough to get USCIS, United States Customs and Immigration Services, to agree to allow us to start hosting ceremonies again. And we've done them ever since. And right now we do a pretty steady stream of about 7 ceremonies a year, and we do about 30 candidates per ceremony. So obviously there are a pool of folks here of our friends and neighbors who are becoming U.S. citizens. I can tell you, I think my staff puts on a great ceremony. I really don't have anything to do with the planning of it. My confidential secretary and my first deputy do a phenomenal job. But I have the best part of the job. I get to swear, I get to administer the oath of allegiance and swear in those new citizens as they become U.S. citizens. And it is the best day of my job. Naturalization Day is a great day from the moment we walk over to the courthouse till when we clean up and go back to work. It's an awesome day. And everybody's so happy. It's just you're so proud to be an American when you get to do that, and it's the best part of my job. It's the most humbling thing I've ever done, and I do every time I do it. I always acknowledge that.
Oh, that's amazing. In regard to modernization, there's been the installation of a new IT solution for the county clerk's office. Can you tell us more about that and what have been the benefits?
Yes, absolutely. So it's been a few years since we've had our new solution. We are actually with a company called InfoQuick Systems, IQS for short. We're very fortunate. They're a local company. They're actually out of Central New York. It's a veteran-owned company, which is even better. And they do a fantastic job. And they really, really have brought our technology into the 21st century. We're able to accept our land recordings and our court filings electronically. So, and the majority of them come in that way, which is a huge savings for our office. You're saving not only office supplies for folders and paper clips and all of that, because everything's coming in electronically, but it's much smoother for our staff to process the work, and everything just gets processed so much quicker. It's a very, very efficient setup. And we've also expanded the amount of documents that people could see online. I think accessibility is probably the most important thing when it comes to an office like the county clerk's office. We are the face of government. That usually is when somebody says, I have to go to the county building, it's usually to come into the clerk's office to do something. And if we're able to make it convenient enough for our citizens that they could do this from the comfort of their own home 24/7, that's a home run for me. And I will tell you, one of the major things that I insisted upon when we went with our new vendor was that we had the ability to view and search the records that we have for free. You have to pay if you're going to download or print them, but we wanted them to view for free. Many of the other vendors out there have a paywall even to get in. And I just didn't think that that was fair. I felt that our public needed to have opportunities to go in there and look around. So accessibility is very important.
So that's
to me.
part of the contract.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So now let's discuss everyone's favorite place to go. I put the song Welcome to the Jungle for your upcoming Yes clip, the DMV. Since historically the DMV is widely considered a frustrating experience due to long wait times, understaffing, and complex, often contradictory bureaucracy, New York State DMV has contracted with Fast Enterprises, LLC, to help New York State DMV modernize its technology platforms, service delivery in Putnam County. Could you tell us more about this technology?
Sure. So I can tell you as much as I know, and I could explain. So DMV in New York State is a very it's a very unique situation where out of the 62 counties in New York State, 51 of the 62 county clerks are actually local agents or local commissioners for DMV. So we do have our own offices, we run our own offices, but we operate under the state DMV umbrella. So we answer to the commissioners and we answer to his management staff. So what I can tell you about it, I don't know a lot of the nitty gritty about the software upgrade, but what I can tell you is that it is the first software upgrade that DMV has ever had in the history of DMV. So it's going to be a monumentous task. And actually what's happening this weekend right now is the first part of that conversion is occurring. So we're going to be waiting with bated breath and our fingers crossed that Wednesday morning we're going to be able to open up our systems and serve the public after the conversion is done. But what they're doing is they have the solution from Fast Industries and they're revolutionizing the software. It is more intuitive. I know it's going to work better, and I know it's going to make the DMV experience a lot quicker, a lot cleaner, a lot easier. They're getting rid of a lot of duplication of services, and I'm confident it's going to work out well in the end.
And you said it's a 3-part upgrade?
Yeah, so what it's going to do is right now they're handling driver's license transactions, and then in about 2 years or so, it's going to be registration type transactions. And then the last module is going to be enforcement transactions.
Okay.
So it's going to take a bit for them to do it because there's so much there and there are so many moving parts. And, Commissioner Schroeder had explained to us, and it was something that I even being in the DMV business, I neglected to recall. The registration process deals not only with DMV, but with all of the auto dealers throughout New York State and beyond. So you're talking over 75,000 outside partners who have to be a part of this integration and upgrade as well when they do registration.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a big task.
Wow. So in regard to DMV, how have you increased its revenue?
So again, like I said, DMV is it's a very unique situation, and I always say it's like a little bit of capitalism in government, and everything that we process in our DMV, we get to keep 10.75% of what we produce as revenue retention. So the more work we do, the more revenue we make, the more we get to retain. So one way that we do that, aside from being a very busy office, we are the southernmost county-run DMV in New York State. Everywhere below, so Westchester, Rockland, the boroughs, and Long Island, they're all state-run offices. State-run offices are run a little bit different. I'm not going to say that they're run better or worse, just different. So we get a great deal of traffic from points south and points west coming to our office. So we're busy. We're pretty much booked every day. Another thing that we do, though, is we process dealer work. Auto dealers bring their work over to us and they drop it off in a couple of days. We turn it around and get it back to them. And all of that dealer work, all those fees that we process, we get to keep 10.75%. And the more we do, the more we get to keep. And I'm very happy to say that year to year, we always operate our DMV operation in the black, and we are able to bring some nice revenue into Putnam County to put into the county coffers, and that helps keep part of the way to keep your taxes down.
As mentioned, the DMV tends to be a very frustrating experience, in part due to wait times. How have you and your team addressed this concern?
So what we've done, the way I look at DMV in general is I say, listen, nobody wants to go to the DMV. You can have the greatest run DMV, the most friendly DMV in the United States of America. Nobody there. I could guarantee you, everybody would rather be doing something else than go to the DMV. So, having said that, let's do our best to get these folks, to get our customers in and out as quickly and painlessly as possible. One of the biggest things that we did was it was actually a byproduct of COVID, and it's probably the only good thing that I could think of in my mind, in my life, that came out of COVID, was that we instituted an online appointment system for DMV. And it works extremely well. Before we had that, we just had lines. We had crowd control ropes in there. It looked like Disneyland. You would be waiting in there for an hour, sometimes more, depending on how busy we were, or if the computers went down, or what have you. I think now what we've done is we've come up with an appointment system where we're able to manage our customers throughout the day. It makes it a better experience, not only for our customers, but for the staff.
I was going to say, so you staff accordingly.
Yeah,
to the
we staff
schedule.
accordingly, and the staff are able to take a breath in between transactions. They're not getting hammered with 100 customers all day. It makes for a really good experience, and I get great feedback from everybody around town about the appointment system and how well it works. And I always tell everybody, you make an appointment if you have everything that you need. It's a 15-minute appointment. Chances are you're going to be done in about 6 or 7 minutes and you're on your way. So we try to do our best to get them served, get them what they need, and get them in and out of the door as quickly as possible.
Wow. The other vital part of your position is vital records, right? Could you tell us about the 4 Records Management Grant Awards and the digitization of deed images?
Yes. So what I can tell you, so it's not, I don't oversee vital records. That's a town clerk thing. But what I do is I am the records management officer for Putnam County. So I manage all of the inactive records for Putnam County. And actually I inherited what's called a cooperative record center. My predecessor, Dennis Sant, when he was records management officer, came up with the idea of doing a cooperative record center on Marvin Avenue in Brewster. So we manage records not only for all the county agencies, but for all the towns and villages around as well. And we continue to do that to this day. And what we do with records management is, Kevin Byrne, our county executive, has a great analogy. It looks like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark with the big giant warehouse with just rows and rows of stuff. And that's what our record center looks like. It's just rows and rows of shelves that go from floor to ceiling with banker's boxes on them, all full of records. And believe it or not, we know where every box is in that record center. We know we don't know every stitch of paper because we don't want to look at everybody's business, but we know what paper and what department or town that they all belong to. So that's what we have going on over there. But when I took over as clerk and as records management officer, I said, in my opinion, this is not sustainable. We're not going to be able to just keep taking in paper, even though we do destroy records as well. It was just...
How long do you keep the records, the physical, tangible records?
It depends. It depends on the record. We follow a state retention schedule. Most records you keep for about 6 years. Other records you keep longer. Other records you keep forever. So that's where it comes into, are we going to run out of space? Is this going to be a problem? So we had the foresight to say, let's come up with a digital record center. So we were able to get local government records management improvement fund grants, working with towns and villages as well as with county records. We had purchased a content management system. It's called Laserfiche. And we've partnered with a vendor, and they scan our records, and we do a lot of scanning in-house as well, especially large format records. And we have them, stored digitally. And once they're stored digitally and they're quality controlled, we can get rid of the paper.
Okay. And do you have a downtime procedure as well?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, everything is all, everything's all backed up redundantly. We actually work with our county IT department, and they have all the backups and servers, and we have even everything on external hard drives. So and everything is a PDFA, which is archival, and it's a very easily replicated, file format. So if God forbid something happened, we wouldn't lose that information.
Okay.
Very important.
Yes. I want to pivot to the Second Amendment.
Yes,
I know that you're a huge advocate to protect the rights of local gun
I
owners.
am.
There was a huge battle with the Journal News back in 2012. Can you tell us about this, and is it still going on?
Sure. It is not still going on as far as I know. The Journal News never actually they didn't get the information that they were asking for. They decided not to ask for it when all was said and done with the litigation. But it was something that was very important to not. I was first deputy clerk at the time, but my predecessor Dennis Sant, who was the county clerk, we had decided that we felt that it was not proper. The request that was made, it was a request made by a media outlet basically looking for the names and addresses of all the pistol permit holders in Putnam County to be provided to them in electronic format and for the purpose of publishing. And we felt that that was an unwarranted invasion of privacy. And, we're very fortunate at the time that our county law department did defend us in the lawsuit and did go with the appeal as well. And I believe that at the end of the day, we were correct on the law with respect to that situation. And subsequent to that, the SAFE Act, which was passed by the state legislature in 2013, in my opinion, which some may agree, but the only good thing that came out of the New York SAFE Act was this opt-out provision where somebody can say if they feel that they are protected by one, a certain number of classes, maybe current or retired law enforcement, or they were a crime victim, or they just feel that disclosure of this information would be unwarranted invasion of privacy, they could sign an opt-out form, and we would be able to not disseminate that information if somebody asked. And I will say I'm very happy to tell you that the majority of pistol permit holders in Putnam County do wish to opt out and not have their information sent out.
Right, that makes sense, though.
Absolutely.
You have been a guest speaker for the Putnam County Firearm Owners Association as well,
Yes.
and has kept the community up to date of any changes coming through the state. Do you have any information on any changes that you'd like to share?
So, luckily, right now there's not a ton going on, which is always good with respect to firearm laws. I will tell you that there are some federal decisions that have come down affecting pistol permit processes in New York State with respect to folks that are not residents of New York State, and it has been determined that non-residents of New York State may be able to apply for a New York State pistol permit. Which is definitely something that has not happened for many, many years. So I think that's a very good thing because I'm a fan of reciprocity. I believe if you go through the rigors and you get yourself a pistol license in your home state, it should be recognized by other states, much like a driver's license. Driving is a privilege. Your Second Amendment is a right. And I believe that if you go through the rigors and you've been determined by your home state that you're legally able to possess a firearm, that should be recognized by all the other states in the union as well.
So there are two other topics we didn't get to discuss. One being the U.S. passport acceptance outreach event. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So probably one of the more popular things that we do in the county clerk's office is we are a U.S. passport acceptance facility. So what that means is when somebody needs to apply for the first time for their passport or do certain renewals for their passports, they could come to our office and we process and accept the application and mail it off to U.S. Department of State for final processing and issuance. And we're very proud of that. That's probably one of the busiest things that we do in our day-to-day. We do offer photographs on site. So we have our little camera booth that we take our pictures, and that's a great revenue maker, and it's a great service to give to our customers. It's something we've been doing for as long as I can remember at the county clerk's office. So we do it every day, and we are very busy during the week for passports, but we know that there is definitely a percentage of our citizens that aren't able to come during normal business hours to process their passport applications. So for quite a few years now, probably I believe I started it as soon as I became county clerk, and we've done it all throughout. A few times a year, we have what we call Passport Saturday. And we usually pick a Saturday or two in the spring and a Saturday or two in the fall for in anticipation of summer travel season and holiday travel season. And we open up on a Saturday usually from 9 to 1, and we process passport applications. We just think it's a good way for our citizens to be able to get in when they might not be able to, so that they can get their passports and travel. But nowadays we do our Saturdays by appointment, because what used to happen was we would have passport Saturday. We didn't have appointments. We would literally have 100 people come in at 5 minutes to 9, and then by 10:30 we would get maybe 10 more people. So we do it by appointment, so we're able to spread it out. So it's a better experience for our customers. It's a better experience for the staff. And again, it's just a great event. I love doing it. I'm usually either taking pictures or processing applications. I love working the counter at the clerk's office. It's one of the favorite parts of my job too. So
you're still on the front line.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have it any other way.
I'll be honest with you. I had no idea that you guys did passports. I usually go to the post office.
Yes.
So what do you think you're more appealing than the post office?
Well, so for starters, the Carmel post office for some reason does not accept passport applications. Other post offices do. The problem that you run into at a post office is they're very short staffed and they have very limited resources. So it might take you a while to get an appointment to go into the post office to process your passport application. During normal business hours at the clerk's office, we don't require an appointment. You could come on in and we'll get you in and out in a few minutes. I mean, usually, again, if you have all of your paperwork ready to go, and you remember to bring your check, because we have to take our check or money order to send off the application, you're usually in and out in 15, 20 minutes. And so, again, it's a priority for us. That's one of our priority things that we do in the clerk's office. So I think just because we make it a priority, I believe it's a better place to go.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
And the other topic I wanted to cover is partnering with your IT software to implement a fraud alert system to protect citizens from title/identity theft.
Yes, this is something that we've done recently. I'm really, really proud of this. I try to shout it from the rooftops wherever I go. So, identity theft is always a big thing. And I'm sure most people know. And if you don't, the next time you have some insomnia and you turn on the TV at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're going to hear about property fraud and property theft. And it is a real thing. There was a state law that was passed a couple of years ago that mandates that we do send out what's called a deed notice. So every time a deed gets recorded in our office, we send a notice to the grantor, the party of the first part on the deed, to let them know that a document affecting their property was recorded in our office. But I felt that wasn't quick enough, and it wasn't comprehensive enough. So our software provider, IQS, has partnered with not only my county, but all of their customers throughout the state. And we have a process that's called Fraud Alert. You can go right on the county clerk's website and click on the link, and you basically enter in the names of the people that you want to get information on. And you click the box that says you're not a robot, and you get an email in your inbox to finish the sign up. And what happens is, if anything gets filed or recorded in our office that has the names that you provided, you'll get a message from Fraud Alert saying, this document was filed or recorded, just want to let you know. And if it's something that's legitimate, that's great. If it isn't, and you think it's something nefarious, timing is everything with that. The quicker you jump on it, the better off you're going to be. And that's when you say, this doesn't look right. This is something purporting to be me, and it's not. And that's when you reach out to our office or you reach out to the authorities.
And how often do you encounter that? We
had one instance of some fraud, not deed fraud, but some mortgage type fraud about 10 years ago in Putnam County. It's pretty rare here. It's something that happens more down in the boroughs, down in the city. It's a little more widespread, but because you're talking about, which is for most people their greatest asset, their home. It's really still in this day and age, that's still most people's largest asset. We want to make sure that we could do whatever we can to protect it. And I'm happy to say we've had a great deal of people sign up for it. And I was just talking to somebody over the weekend who has a fairly common name. And he said, I got a fraud alert from your office. It wasn't me, it was somebody with a similar name. I checked it out, and so I really appreciate it. So it's working. So I'm glad I like it when I hear those things. So, again, it's just something, it's free of charge, and it's something that we could provide for our customers, for our citizens, to make sure that their largest asset is protected.
So I realize, I'm assuming that you won't face a primary challenge in June.
I don't believe so.
Okay. But I think it speaks volume and it is a testament about the credibility you've built and the results you and your team have delivered, since no one's going to be primarying you. How long have you been the county clerk? I never got to ask you.
I'm in my
question.
12th year right now.
Okay. And is there a term limit or no?
No term limits.
Okay. And I had asked you before we came on air. It's in other counties. It could be an appointed position, right?
So yes, in the city of New York and the 5 boroughs, it's actually an appointed position. That was just a change that the city did many years ago. I believe they're appointed by the city council of the city of New York. But everywhere else outside of the 5 boroughs, it's an elected post.
Okay. So before we conclude this episode, are there any other campaign talking points or any other information you'd like to share?
So basically what I would like to share, I'll make it short and sweet. We in the clerk's office are there. We're there to serve our public. Everybody that walks through our door is a customer, and we strive very hard. We work very hard to do whatever we can to get our customers the information they need, take care of business. That's what we do. We do whatever we can to make sure that we address our customers, get them what they need, and get them out the door as quickly and efficiently as possible. And it's the best job in the world. I love doing it, and I hope I get to continue doing it for the people of Putnam County.
There you have it, folks. Michael Bartolotti, Putnam County Clerk, helping make the DMV experience smoother, not like a trip to purgatory, strengthening civic services and streamlining record accessibility. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching the podcast Beyond the Ballot. Like, subscribe, and leave us your comments.